Three.
Greetings, you scallywags. This is Pirate Percy coming at you live where a tree branch has freshly fallen behind us. We're going to shoot a video today. Karen is here with us. She's going to talk about accessories more so for women and women's attire. So we're dealing with accessories in that area for beginners to intermediate. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to guide you through a journey of accessories for beginners to intermediate Ren Faire attendees.
Alright, so I'm going to start with the stuff that I purchased. A lot of the stuff I find at random stores, yard sales. I kind of just look wherever I go. A lot of times you'll find the best stuff when you're not expecting it. So we'll start off with one of my favorites, which is this coin belt. These are wonderful if you want a little bit more interest in your costumes. And you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. If you find the right shops, a lot of times like check yard sales, especially around Ren Faire season. But they have so much interest and, just a little jingle to your costumes, and it can make them so much more fun and interesting to look at. So next, let's see, we'll go on to skirts because that's, pretty good one. These are a mix of ones that we purchased and we have made. So a lot of times you'll see these high-low skirts. These are wonderful for layering. You can layer that over a pre-existing kind of flouncy dress. And then you can put something like this green skirt on top because it adds just another layer. Layers are great. But skirts just on their own can serve as accessories. So yeah, this one here we made, and this one here on top we made as well. But they're just great layering pieces. If you have a super, super long one, if you put that one on the bottom and then put a couple shorter ones on top, you can then implement your belt and pouch, and I don't currently have any with me, but skirt hikes. They are amazing, and they are great for layered skirts. They give so much more interest to your outfit, and they can take a really, really simple looking outfit and make it into something that is fun to look at. So you can use any kind of belts you want. You can use something like this with a leather belt and a pouch. You can layer them. You can put chain belts like these over top and just layer them until your heart's content. But the more layers you have at Ren Faire, chances are the more interesting your outfit is going to look. That being said, you can also use your hair as a way to wear even more accessories. Crowns are amazing. I also personally like to wear a lot of jewelry in my hair. I like to take necklaces and bobby pin them into my hair and just use them as just little kind of fascinators, if you will, just to give it a little bit more interest. Alright, and then bracelets and jewelry are always a must. You gotta have the jingly janglies. These are some of the ones that I got. This one was from a flea market. This one was gifted to me. Even if you don't necessarily think they all go together, once you put them on, if you have enough of them, they'll eventually start to look right. I've got a starfish. Got little corsage from my prom, actually. We've got little seashell charm bracelet. A couple of these are necklaces that I just used as bracelets. A couple of these I did make, which we'll get to that. This one is from my mom's wardrobe. Another necklace and a bangle, just because. So you can have a lot of fun going out and buying your jewelry, your props, your rings. Rings are great. It can just add a little bit of extra something. Earrings too. These ones are from Jubilee. I love my earrings. Never leave the house without jewelry. Alright, and then we'll get into the things that I've made, because there are a lot of things that people overcomplicate making, or they'll go out of their way to buy, and a lot of times they will end up overspending, even though there's no real reason to. So if you don't want to go out of your way to buy jewelry, or you want to make a whole bunch of it, especially if you just want to make it into a fun project for you and your friends to do, you your own little bracelets. I have a couple beaded bracelets here that I've made, like this. You can also have a blank face bracelet and add whatever charms you'd like. I have a mirror on mine that has a little tooth coming out of it, just because. Why not? It's more charms. Let's see. Necklaces. Always, always, always have necklaces. They are very fun, and they're a great layering piece. This one was gifted to me, this one I made, and the one up here I made. Let's see. Where should we go next? I see a lot of people who go to Ren Faire and try to do like a sort of mermaidy look for Pirate Weekend. And I see a lot of people who just skimp on it a little bit when you don't have to. This is a top that I made. It is a basic bra blank. And then it's seashells, hot glue, and paint. And you can use a more secure glue if you'd like. You can use E6000. But you can have so much fun with just making your own tops. For Ren Faire, there are no real dress codes. As long as you are like covered where it's important, you can wear whatever you want. And that is one of the most fun things you can wear. And it kind of goes with whatever chainmail tops you get as well when you're at Ren Faire. Alright, and then I also noticed a lot of people tend to overpay for horns. Now, if you're a crafty person or you already like to crochet, make yourself a pair of horns. You can customize it to be whatever color you want, and you can also make them have ears that will cover your real ears, so you don't have to worry about that showing. But you can make them in whatever color you would like. You can make the ears whatever color you'd like. You can add accessories. And it's just all on a cheap headband blank, and you end up spending less than probably $15 on these. And you can decorate them however you'd like. Let's see. Another great layering piece is shawls. I don't hear people talk about shawls enough. I mean, look at this thing. This took maybe a day to make. Especially if you were someone who crochets really fast, you probably get it done faster than I did. I crochet quite a lot, as you can probably tell, but it just adds so much. This one is one that I tend to wear more in the winter. It is very, very, very large. It borders on cloak, but it's fun, and you can make them in whatever size you would like. You can make them in whatever color you would like, and you can make them match your costumes. This is one of my favorites. This one was entirely handmade down to the yarn. One of my absolute favorites. But if you use the right yarn, you don't have to go out and buy furs because it almost looks like one. But it can add so much interest to your outfit. And it only takes maybe about a day of work to make it. And it's still, more than likely, going to be cheaper than anything else you can just go out and buy. This is a recent one, so her ends are woven in quite yet. Another one that is great, now this one's back to, things I've purchased, but I almost forgot about it, so I don't see people use these enough. And these are just basic robes that you can find at a thrift store. But it can add so much to your outfit, and it can just add another layer, which is, so much fun. And this also works for, people who like to dress a little bit more witchy, which, guilty as charged. But you can have so much fun making your items. It's great. Especially fawn shoes. A lot of fawn shoes are incredibly expensive, and if that's the look you're going for, I've seen a lot of people try to use resin. If you want a slightly cheaper and less time-consuming, slightly less time-consuming tool to make them, these are air dry foam clay, and faux fur, and then just some ribbon and pearls to embellish it. But they are incredibly comfy. They still have a heel while making it blend in. And they're just so fun to wear. And they're so comfy, and I don't have to worry about them breaking throughout the day. Now these are a little bit more flimsy. But on a similar note, if you want something that's more goat poop akin, you can make these. Now these have been worn quite a few times, so they're a little rough looking. But you can have a lot of fun with it. Mine has a working cloth in it. And that's just, a simple, tiny cloth that I just stuck on here. But you can have fun with it. It's just air dry clay, hot glue, and some faux fur. And it's so much fun to make. Plus, it makes it a lot cheaper and easier if you're doing it with a group of friends. You can all match. You don't need much clay to do this. And then I'll touch on the last thing that I DIY'd. And this is a little bit more costume specific. But if you are someone who likes the look of a bustle on a skirt, this is a pillowcase. I just added some little tabs, some little loops that you'd attach to a belt. You just thread a belt through. But if you attach it to your hip, and I've done this for a couple different events now, you now have a bustle. And I do have the second one, I just don't have it out right now. But not only is it a very cute bustle, I love the material. If you leave the zipper intact, you now have an incredibly large pocket. You can put sunscreen, you can put like a first aid kit in there, you can put whatever you need throughout the day in there, which is, always nice. Always less hands to carry things and more pockets. We love it. Speaking of being able to carry things a little bit easier, you can also make something like this. If you go to a yard sale and pick up a cheapy little basket and get some florals and some lights, you can make something like this and you can carry it around at Ren Faire. And it is slightly easier than a bag because you can just set it down, do what you need to do, and then come back and pick it up again. You can also have fun with it. Mine has lights in it. They don't currently have batteries in them, but it does have lights, and you can get rather cheapy ones. But they're so much fun, and they add so much to your costume. You can also make staffs out of very little. You can do ones that have flowers on them. Mine is made to look like a castle turret. And it is just a stick, some clay, some moss, and some paint. There are a couple popsicle sticks. It's a foil base. Most of this stuff is stuff you will have at home, other than, of course, the clay. But the tin foil, the popsicle sticks to, serve as support. Super easy little project that you can do. My mom and I made ours together. It was a very, very fun activity.